Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jennifer and I will be continuing on with the advent calendar. If you missed the first video, I will link it up top so you can check that out. In this video, we will be going over most of the details for the second part of this series, and it's going to take us through to part of Santa. So I'm just going to show you all the little details. And right now I'm just appliquing these pieces. The black felt has no embroidery on it, so I just appliqued that. And the chimney rim has a dark brown, 2 strands of dark brown outline stitch. So there's no stuffing here, it's all flat, makes it easy. And we're using an applique stitch, so fairly simple. I'm going to jump ahead and show you what that looks like. Alright, so we have the chimney, part of the chimney, because Santa covers most of it, finished. And now we're going to add just this blue strip down here. It's kind of a connector between the top and the bottom. And it's kind of, I think this is the floor, I think. Looks like the floor. So we're just going to applique this piece onto there, and I'm just going to show you how to find what color to use here. Some colors you're just like, maybe either one could work. Sometimes you can just go by eye and say, hey, I want this color. There is a chart in here. Let me just grab it real quick. And it basically tells you all of the colors that are used for any type of applique. So let me just find it real quick. And these are just a guide. You don't have to use the color they suggest, but they say 1 strand, so I always do 1 strand. One time I did a kit and I doubled all the strands, and honestly it didn't really make much of a difference. Like, yeah. I did that with the owl wreath a while back. And I just found that you run out of thread, honestly. But I did it just as an experiment. So, long story short, you don't need to do that. Just use 1 strand. And if you feel like using a different color thread that you feel like it's matches better, be my guest. That's what the great thing is about these kits, is that they're so customizable. You don't have to do them exactly as they show. I've seen people substitute colors. I've seen people add a bunch of more sequins, or honestly the list goes on. So you can get really creative with these kits. If you're absolutely new to this, I highly recommend you follow the directions so you get the sense of how to put one together. If you are a total beginner, I would not recommend this kit because this kit has so many pieces and it will overwhelm you. I'm telling you right now. I've done many kits, and this kit was one of the biggest kits that I put together, and I was overwhelmed. I'm like, oh my gosh, am I ever going to finish this kit? Because it took forever. I think it took me 6 weeks to finish it, which is a long time for me. It's just there's so many elements and so many pieces to put together. So I'm just showing you the applique stitch right now in slow-mo, so you have an understanding of what an applique stitch is. I do have a separate video for that if you want to check it out. It's in my mini tutorial series, so feel free to check that out. And then we'll move on. These tutorials are going to be a little bit longer because this kit is so large, so bear with me here. I will not be talking the entire time. I get sick of hearing my voice every once in a while, and I just want to show you my work process. So I'm going to jump ahead here and finish this off camera, and then we'll move on to the next steps. Okay, so now that we have that appliqued, we're going to start filling in some of these gaps. Here's a look, take a look at the back, just so you have an idea of what mine looks like. It doesn't have to look like that, but we're going to work on this golden piece right here. Kind of looks like the bottom of a table. I'm not not sure what that's for. Anyway, so we're going to do embellishments, and we're using gold thread here, and I'm just going to show you my work. So here we go. And stuffed very lightly, and I use a little chopstick for that. And I love the little embellishment. It really makes it pop. Okay, so now we're gonna work on this little strip here, and this is just a simple applique stitch, and I just make sure that all the lines line up, and that way when we put pieces on top they will all line up together nicely, which is good. We want that. Okay, so now we're going to start with this drum, and the drum goes there. So I'm going to put the drum together, and I will show you how to do that. Okay, so this requires cording, and by the way, if you don't know how to make cording, there is instructions in the kit, but I also have a video I made specifically for cording if you want to check that out, and I've heard a lot of people say it's very helpful, so make sure you check out that video so you know how I make cording. stuffed it, and then I added the golden part on the bottom, and this little part is going to sit right on top here. But first we have to add a satin stitch, so I'm just going to do that. And this is not too bad of a space to do a satin stitch. I've definitely done harder spaces. I like to start from the middle and go to the outside. So I'm still finding ways to do the satin stitch that are more productive. Once I find one, I will share it with you. So this is for now how I do the satin stitch, and just make sure that you take your time and that your stitches lay properly so they don't bunch, and you're giving yourself plenty of spacing. So I'm just going to finish this off camera, and then I will attach it to the calendar. Okay, so once I finish, then I add an outline stitch around the satin stitch. It makes it really nice and finished. I really like the look of that. So now I'm just going to applique it onto the calendar. Now that the drum is finished, I really liked how it turned out. We're going to put Santa's boot on, and it's just a black piece of felt, and it's stuffed. No other embellishments on it. Rather simple. I'm just going to grab my chopstick and put a little bit of stuffing in there. Try not to overstuff. When you do that, it kind of bunches the felt. So just do enough stuffing to create that 3D effect that you like. And if you find it hard to applique clothes, that means you have too much stuffing. So make sure that you don't overstuff it. So I'm just going to close this boot up, and I'll just show you the rest of it. Here is the one side of Santa's arm. It's just beads and sequins, and then slightly stuffed. And then we're going to add the glove, the hand. And the hand is very lightly stuffed also. And then we're going to add the white trim, which has beads and sequins, and it is also lightly stuffed. And I'm doing this all off camera because it's literally rinse and repeat, and I don't want to get this tutorial moving along. So the hand, I decided to kind of approach it this way. Hold on, sorry. My camera work is... I just start on one end, and I go to the other side, and then I stop. And I want to make sure that the hand, because we're going to put something in his hand, so I don't want to close it all the way. I want that hand to look like it's holding something. So I'm just going to applique this side of the glove to where it looks like he's holding something. Okay, so I jumped ahead a little bit because I was having problems. So here is a finished glove, and it looks so cute. He's ready to hold something. Okay, now we're going to put his body on, and it's fairly simple. Add beads and sequins where it says to add them, and then we're lightly stuffing this. And it may look overstuffed, but it's actually just a big section, so it's actually not that it's not that puffy, and it's not that it's not so stuffed to where it looks like it's warped, because we don't want that. All right, so now we're gonna add his little trims here, the white trim, and that's lightly stuffed as well, and then the little button that's lightly stuffed. And I was very careful. I did not go through the stuffing. When you add stuff like that, you just go to the felt piece underneath. And then same with the glove here. I'll show you what I mean. So I'm adding the second glove to him, and notice how I'm not going through all the way to the back. My very first like 7 stockings that I ever did I did that with the stocking, and it looked like, I don't know, it just didn't give that 3D effect that I wanted, but I was a kind of a newbie, so I didn't know what I was doing. But sometimes that's what you have to do to learn. You gotta make mistakes and then try again. But, you know, sometimes the learning curve is really high. With some of the kits, yeah, I kind of bit off more than I could chew. But I learned a lot from that, and I gained a lot of experience in a short amount of time. But I am knotting my thread, and then I'm going to go down and back up into the green, and that way you won't see the tail. So I didn't go through to the back at all, and that's how you should do it too. And that way you keep the 3D effect too. And it looks great. So now we're going to add Santa's bag. Okay, so for Santa's bag, I assembled it. I pre-assembled it. So I put the black, or is it a dark? Oh, it's black. So there's a black portion that's got nothing on it, and then the dark green, which is the bag part, and then the light green, which is the trim, kind of like the inside. And I appliqued the black I appliqued the black piece first, and then the 2 green pieces are appliqued together, and I am now going to show you that it needs to like open up. You see what I mean? I didn't get a chance to actually film that part. Sorry about that. But let's just finish this part of Santa. We're going to put his arm on. Make sure you add those little details. I'm going to stuff this very lightly. Use my pencil because my chopstick dropped on the floor and I don't know where it went. So I grabbed my pencil. It works just the same. I just use the eraser side. So if you don't have a chopstick, grab a pencil. It works just the same. So now we're going to applique that closed, and then we're going to add the trim onto the sleeve and take away any excess stuffing that you see poking out. Once I get this closed, I will show you how to put the other trim on here. It's a little bit different than the first trim. There's 2 parts to it. There's a front and a back, and there's still going to be beads and sequins on the front, but we're going to be stuffing it, and then we're going to attach it. So I'll show you how to do that after this little section, and I'll just let you watch my process. Okay, now that we have that on, I just want to show you the thumb. So this is like a little, it's like the thumb part of the glove, and it is stuffed, so I'm just kind of sandwiching it between the two felt pieces, and once I have that together, then I attach it like so. So I'm just, I'm going to show you the best I can here where the position is, because if you position it just right, it looks like he's holding the bag open, and that's what we want. We want it to look like his palm is out holding the bag open. So I'm just positioning it where I think it goes, and then I'm gonna applique it. Whoops. Okay, make sure I get the right side here. The piece is so tiny. I thought about putting a pin there, but I'm like, nah, it's so small. I'm just gonna use a couple of stitches here and tack it on. So we are coming to the end of this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I work really hard to put these together for you so you have the best idea how to put yours together. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up for me. That would be awesome. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button, consider it, because I have tons of these tutorials on my channel as well as other things going on too. So big plans happening this year. Announcements to follow. But I'm going to wrap up this tutorial, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it was helpful and useful. Let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed this tutorial and got something out of it. If you'd like to follow me on social media, all of my social media information is in the description box, as well as my Etsy shop if you want to check that out. There's tons of things that I'm making on there, and I'm super excited. A lot of digitizing practice. So, all right, I will see you guys in my next tutorial. Bye.